the kids to laugh at me. I'm sorry, I can't talk and do something at the same time. Hi, y'all. Welcome to Southern Georgia on a very beautiful day. Thankfully, because I am so tired of gloomy weather. Today, we are going to just do a quick get ready with me. I'm not going anywhere fancy, but I do have to go out for an appointment. And so I thought we would catch up on my healthy lifestyle because truthfully, that has not been going so well for me. I went to the doctor yesterday. I'm gonna try some new things and see where that gets me. In reality, from the day that I weighed myself and measured myself and put it in the description box for y'all, I've lost only 8 pounds total in 2 months. That's been really discouraging for me. Although I think I've learned a lot. I think I know why that's happened, why I'm not getting the faster weight loss that you hear people talk about with keto. I have done some cheating, not realizing how long it takes to get back into a state of ketosis. Also, I have not actually gotten into a state of ketosis that I could measure. I have the little ketone strips that you can buy at the pharmacy. You have to ask for them. They're not out in the aisles. They're cheap. And you pee on them and it tells you if you're peeing ketones, basically. The easy way to put it. I am not peeing ketones. I have not peed ketones, at least according to those strips. So either I have a whole batch of bad ones, or I haven't gotten into a state of ketosis, and that's what I think, because I'm also not losing the weight. And when you're in ketosis, the weight melts. It just melts right off. Obviously, what I'm doing isn't working for me so far. Some good things have happened. I have learned to drink a lot of water. I don't like to drink a lot of water, although I have to say that lately I'm used to it. I'm happy with it. I think it is really good for me. So that's one good thing that's happened. I'm gonna start putting on this makeup because otherwise my appointment's gonna come and go and I'm not gonna be ready to go. I am gonna start with Tarte Base Tape Hydrating Primer. The diet has so far been a disappointment, but a lot of it is my fault. I've cheated. I keep blaming it on my church. Now, I am going to use this primer very liberally, and I'll tell you why. I've been testing out 3 drugstore foundations. I've told you before, I was a makeup snob. Never in my life did I use a drugstore foundation until just recently. I found 2 that I really, really like. However, oh, here we go. It's all peeling on me, darn it. This is what's happening. I was using the Clarins Multi-Active Day Cream with SPF 20 sunscreen in it. And I really loved it, except that it did burn my eyes a little bit, my eyelids. You gotta sunscreen your eyelids. I mean, you just have to. I was doing okay with that. And the cream was so good. You know, I'd put that on my face. I'd leave it sit about 20 minutes because it takes 20 minutes for the sunscreen to work. You're supposed to put it on, wait 20 minutes before you go out. So I would do that, and then I would just rub my face gently, and because it would pill a little bit. I mean, just a tiny little bit. And I kind of felt like it was almost exfoliating my face a bit. That was going fine, and I used it all up. When I went to test one of the other drugstore foundations, it looked absolutely terrible. And I had liked that one. So I was trying to figure out, you know, what was different. And I know what was different. It was that sunscreen. That sunscreen worked beautifully under makeup. When I ran out of it, I switched to CeraVe Day Invisible Zinc sunscreen. I don't like it. I don't like the texture of it. I don't like the way it feels, but I had samples of it, and you know, my cheap jeans, I absolutely cannot stand to throw something out. So I'm using up this sunscreen that I don't like. It's kind of dry on my face. It's not moisturizing like the other one was. I just squirted my foundation. I'm using my e.l.f. Flawless Finish foundation. So it was kind of dry, and I noticed, like, I'm putting on this makeup and it's dry. It's cakey. It looks terrible. And that was one that I had liked before. So I was thinking, you know, it's got to be that sunscreen, and I'm pretty sure it is. I don't want to throw it out. So today I used it again, and so far of the three, the e.l.f. is my favorite, hands down. One of the other ones is very good and really a very close contender. The other one I didn't like at all, but now I'm thinking it might be because of that sunscreen. So I pulled out my favorite and I'm trying it over that sunscreen. I noticed when I put on my primer that a bunch of it pilled, and I think it's the sunscreen. I'm not real happy with that sunscreen. You know, I don't have that much left to get rid of, and I'll use it because, you know, SPFs are expensive and I am not wealthy. I do not have the money to waste perfectly good things. I just have to find a way around it. I have to find a better way to use it. So I'm working on that. Today I put it on and I left it on for, I mean, it's probably been on an hour. I did other things and I just wanted to make sure it had time to really soak in and do what it's supposed to. So that's where we are. Now, I love this makeup. There's no cakiness. It's moderate coverage. I wouldn't call, it is full coverage if you build it a little, but what I'm discovering is I don't necessarily need full coverage. I always thought I did because of the rosacea, but what I'm finding is that, you know, I can get away with less coverage as long as I have a really good concealer. So far, I've had really good luck with this concealer. This is the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop concealer. It's worked really well for me. It's in Natural. Of course, I put everything in the description box if you miss what I used and you are interested. So as you can see, I'm just dabbing that in. It is my only complaint about this concealer is the color. It's a little more yellow than I would have wanted. It's really close. When I replace it, and I expect I will because it's been great, I will look for a better color match for me. Because I hope there is a better color match. Because you know, this is too yellow. I tend towards the warm, but I notice when I go back and I look at pictures that I'm often a little too warm in my pictures. I'm swirling my powder into my brush. I wasn't showing you that. And I'm using the NYX Fit Me loose finishing powder. Trying to use the same products I used with the other foundation. I want to make sure it's fair. And I definitely did use this powder, the same concealer, and the same primer. I think that looks great. I'm really happy with this finish. I think it's wonderful. It's so cheap. It's under 10 bucks. That just thrills my cheap self to the bone. What do you think, guys? Should I use my Nars Orgasm or should I use my L'Oreal Tropical Hue? You know, it's really funny. I bought the full-size L'Oreal Baked Blush and Brighten. This one. I bought it in Sun Swept. And it's very nice, but it's like a brown. More brown than pink, let's say. I think it's gonna be absolutely lovely with the right clothes and everything. What I'm finding is that I am going for the tropical hues, which I got for free as a boost, as a perk, when I bought the other one. I'm going for that one all the time. I love it. It's a really perfect color for me. But I think today we'll go with the Nars Orgasm. It is so beautiful. You know, I do wish they wouldn't name things the way they do. You know, maybe I'm old-fashioned. I don't think I'm a prude, but really, you know, some of the names of these things, I'm just like, this is a family channel. I don't need to be talking about this stuff. So anyway, back to my diet woes. I'm blaming it on my church. I'm just kidding. I'm not really blaming it on my church. We found the most wonderful church. I think I told you, we're fairly new in the town we're in. We moved last September. It's hard getting to know a new place, and you have to change all your doctors and everything you do. That is hard for me, especially because I don't leave my house very often, especially with doctors. You know, I've got a lot of medical issues. You find yourself a doctor that you're comfortable with, and then you have to leave. And it's just really been hard for me. I'm sorry, I can't talk and do something at the same time. I'm trying to figure out where I am in my process here. And now we're gonna do bronzer. I am going to use something different today. Too Faced Chocolate Soleil, Chocolate Gold Soleil. This packaging's awesome, isn't it? I love it, so pretty. I like pretty things, I do. You know, I think a lot of us do. You know, it doesn't make us crazy. It's just, we like sparkly things. And this does have a tad, a shimmery bit to it. It has the gold flecks in it, and I just think it's beautiful. And it smells like chocolate, which is delightful. So I'm just gonna use a little. I don't wanna get crazy with the bronzer. See, I already went too heavy with it. I put too much on the brush. I gotta be careful, because when I use my Loreal bronzer, again, I got it for free. It came with the other blush, actually, when I bought the other blush in Sunswept, and I love that bronzer. That has quickly become my favorite bronzer. This one, I haven't used in a couple weeks, and I have to remember, this one lays down heavier. I have to go back and brush some of this out because it is too much. You know, I'm trying to use a lighter hand with things because I think I really do get out of hand with my makeup sometimes. And then I go out and I feel like, you know, I just feel over made up. I spent half my life laughing at older women that, you know, looked like a clown, but I'm becoming her. And I don't want the kids to laugh at me. That's all that silliness gone. Let's do, for fun, a little bit of highlighter. And this is my Ofra Nikkietutorials Highlighting Trio. Boy, did I hit the bullseye when I bought this. This is so gorgeous, all of them. Even this white one with the bluish lilac iridescent tinge to it, it's just gorgeous. But the one I go to the most is this one in the middle. It's called Glazed Donut. Right now, it's the only donuts I'm getting. I'm trying to enjoy it. I'm not eating donuts. I've actually done really well. I started to tell you about the church. That's what I was doing. Every Sunday morning, we go to the church. There's a room with coffee and water and sweet tea, because you don't go anywhere in the South without there being sweet tea, let me tell you. But there's coffee stations and there's donuts. Tables of donuts. I have not eaten one. Not one. I am proud of myself for that. There seems to be food at the church a lot. Some of that is because we were heading to the end of the school year and they were having different things for the kids and for graduates, luncheons and all kinds of stuff. Somebody retired, they had a dinner for that. So there's been a lot of food at the church and it's really good. Their cook is tremendous. I just like good food. I'm not like, I wouldn't call myself a foodie, you know? I'm really happy with a good hamburger. I love pizza. Pizza is probably my favorite food in the world. They have dinner at the church every Wednesday night during the school year. They call it family dinner night. Tonight's the last one. They stop it for the summer and they'll pick it back up in August. Tonight they're having fried chicken. They're also having baked chicken. And I could go and eat the baked chicken, but I've already told my husband I'm having the fried chicken. I haven't had fried chicken in months. It is one of my favorite foods. We haven't actually found a fried chicken place here in our new town because I've been trying to do better with the food choices I'm making. So since tonight is the last night, I am having the fried chicken, and then there will be no family dinners to tempt me for the rest of the summer. So I should be able to stick to my diet a little more easily. I will be the first to admit I have absolutely no backbone whatsoever. It's really pathetic. My husband has lost weight like a crazy man. He's down like 40 some pounds. I'm down 8. Of course, that's typical because men do lose weight more quickly than women, but I mean, that's a little out of control. So what do you think of my beautiful highlight? I love this highlight. Before I forget to go on, I wanted to mention that one of the things that my doctor said I should do is get this book and read it, The New Atkins for a New You. And he said if I follow this book, I will lose weight. And you know what? I'm already doing most of what's in this book. So I am reading through it. I'm so excited to really buckle down and do this. I had expected it to be easier doing keto. I expected to be in ketosis and burning fat like a crazy person, but that didn't happen for me. And I am what they call insulin resistant. I already knew that because of some of the medical conditions I have. This has been difficult for me. It's been very depressing. I had expected to be much thinner at this stage of the game. So I'm ready to really knuckle down and not cheat and all that good stuff. I need to lose this weight. I'm happy to say that, I mean, I do have clothes that are falling off of me. So I think I am losing inches even if I'm not moving the scale a whole lot. So I'm happy about that. I just wanted to move a little faster. Doesn't everybody? I'm gonna really work hard at this. And another thing I wanted to mention before I forgot, we've been just so happy with this church. I have never been part of a church community that made me want to get up and go to church. I mean, that's just never happened. This is the first time I've ever belonged to a church that made me want to talk about it. And it's exciting for me, and it's such a positive place. It's just so warm and inviting and loving. It's been incredible. It's been really good for me. It's been really good for my depression. My church has a YouTube channel too, and it's Park Avenue United Methodist Church. Sunday's sermons are on there. They have 2 services. They have a traditional service and then they have a contemporary service, and we usually go to the contemporary service because there's a rock band, and I'm an old 80s rocker. I can't help myself. I at one time fronted a rock band, a cover band, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had in my life, and I loved it. I ruined my voice with smoking for so many years. So I don't have the voice now, but I still have the rocker inclination. So we go to the contemporary service, and it's wonderful. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you're not happy with where you are, you feel like you want to make a change, you don't really know where, check out their YouTube channel. You might see something you like. I love our pastor. I think he's an amazing preacher. Just thought I'd pass that on to you in case that's something you might need in your life. I have needed it in my life for a very long time. I haven't been able to find what I needed. It's funny because we've been to a whole lot of different churches. I've told you before, my husband drives Uber, and somebody from this church called for an Uber, and he dropped him off and he went in to use the restroom. When he went in there, he met the cook that cooks the family dinners. He was so nice, and my husband can talk. I mean, he could talk the ears right off an elephant. So he was talking to this guy, and this guy ended up taking him on a tour of the church and the fellowship hall where we do the contemporary service, and showing him all the Sunday school rooms, because they have Sunday school for adults, which I had never heard of before, and what a great idea. And there's so many different ones, so right now we're going to all of them to see where we feel our best fit is. It's just been overwhelmingly positive, and we just laugh because we say that God called an Uber, as he came home from that and said, I found us a church. And I was like, really? Another one? We got dressed and we went that Sunday, and I gotta tell you, from the minute I walked in, I was like, I felt at home. It's been really life-altering for me. I just wanted to share that. I'm not going to be beating you over the head with my Christianity. It's so positive for me. Being a person who has really gone through periods of very severe depression, I will stop talking about my church. It's just that it's becoming a huge factor in my journey, if that's what you want to call it, to better wellness. So I thought this actually does belong in my health update video. So thank you for listening if you're still with us. Lori had requested a look with the Buxom White Russian on the Rocks palette that I got from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. Oh, it is a beautiful, beautiful palette. Try to show you this without blinding you with the mirror. I hope you can see that okay. So I think that's what we'll do. I did learn a trick, and I will link her video in the description box. Her name is Jackie. This was her tip, and it works like a charm. Now I have my Milani eyeshadow primer that I always use an eyeshadow primer, and I've got several that I like now, but this one, you know, for being as cheap as it is, it's awesome. I just think it's great. I like a bargain. You know that about me. Okay, so I'm putting on my eyeshadow primer, and I've told you before I've started putting it underneath because I've been using shadow underneath. What she does is she puts it on her eyelashes. I thought she was kind of crazy when I saw her do it. Of course, I had to give it a try, and I will show you. You will be amazed, as I was. Really, really helped your lashes curl. Here are my eyelashes. They kind of stick out more than they curl. Now we're gonna curl them. And I think I told you before, I have never in my life curled my lashes until recently. I never had to. I always had really long, dare I say, luscious lashes. But you get older and stuff happens. Now look at that. I just think that's amazing. Now this one really, I mean, they stick straight out. There's no curl to them. And this one you should really be able to see it. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just squeezing them. And then I kind of turn them up towards my face more. See that? I hope you can see it. Because for me, it's been really rather amazing. My lashes used to be something I would have considered a huge asset. That's the word I was looking for. As I've gotten older, there's no oomph to them. So I'll try anything to give them some oomph. Right, let's go on to this palette. Now there's one matte color in the palette, and it is this, let me see if it has color. 5-inch stiletto. We're gonna use that in the crease. This is gonna be a very light look. I used this on Mother's Day, actually. I was planning on sporting a very bright lip, which I did. And it's gorgeous. And I can't believe that I had it buried in my lipsticks and I didn't even realize it was there. It's nice, I love it. Now, one of the things that you can bank on with Buxom shadows, as you will also find with Loreal. I've heard the same of Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows. Now these are all high-end shadows. They all are kind of powdery, and that really turns off some people, but I'm fine with it. They blend so beautifully, and some of that is just that it's a very powdery formula, and it just makes them blend really well. And it is kind of across the board with high-end shadows, at least as far as I can see. As you can see, that's a very light crease color. I really like it. I told you I'm trying to move towards lighter eye looks, at least some of the time. I guess I'm kind of realizing you don't have to go full-on glam all the time. Sometimes it's nice to just do something a little simpler, and I've been enjoying it quite a bit. The next color we're gonna go into is this last color down here. It's the deepest. It's a brown color, and it is called High Society. It's lovely to darken up the corner here. It is really dark, so I'm gonna be really careful with this, and I'm gonna place it right here, and I'm not gonna stray too far from right there. In fact, I should have probably used a smaller brush. See if I can use this over here, even things up a bit, and then maybe I'll move to a smaller brush. I may have already done more than I wanted. I think that's fine. One of the things, and I started to tell you in another video, I don't know if I ever finished. Instead of putting the dark all the way down into the corner, like most people do, I stop right here, and I'll tell you why. This is where your eyelashes should end, or your eyebrows, this line. It's also, if you want your eyes to lift, like I do, this is as far as you want to go. So I'm not bringing that dark color down as far because I want the eye to lift. Don't we all? Okay, here, let me find a pencil brush. This is a little more targeted for this deep color. And what I'm doing is making a V here to help me lift this eye. A little heavier than I planned. I didn't do too much damage. It got darker on the lid over here than over here. Even that up a little. See if there's anything left on this brush. I'm fine with that. This has been the tricky part for me because these are, it's a beautiful color scheme here, but it's very light. There's only that one really dark color. So I am going to go in with Precious Metal, this color right here. A lot of people say don't include the brush so that they address companies and say, you know, we don't need the brushes, we have our own brushes, but I actually like having that. I like that a company is taking the time to put something in that you can travel with. Like I could throw this in a bag and be gone and not have to worry about my brushes. I like that, but apparently most people do not. So I'm just gonna go here in the middle with this Precious Metal color. Does have some punch. It's nothing earth-shaking, but I didn't want something earth-shaking. If I did, I would wet my brush with some setting spray and go into it, but I'm getting this nice little pop, but it's neutral, definitely not a pop being color. Now go into the color White Russian with a Twist, which is this beautiful satiny pink. I would call it a satin. It's definitely not a shimmer, but it has a little bit of punch to it. I think it's beautiful. And I'm just gonna use that right here in this inner corner. That is really pretty. It's very subdued, but that's what I love about it. It's just really beautiful without getting crazy. And I just think it's really a pretty palette. Now I'm gonna do some more blending on the lid. I don't know what it is. I have a little growth right here. It catches the light when I put a shimmer on. It drives me a little crazy. It's awfully close to my eye. I'm not really planning on having it removed. It does interfere sometimes with my eyeliner if I use eyeliner. But I think this is a really beautiful look without getting crazy at all. And so I'm gonna put the palette away. How did I live all these years without a color switch? It's like the greatest thing since sliced bread, I'll tell you. Let's do brows. I've been skipping the brow pencil. My eyebrows are salt and pepper. There's so much gray in them, and I'm using a pencil. I'm coloring the skin, but I'm not coloring the hair. I'm using my Benefit Gimme Brow in Cool Blonde because the warm blonde is a little too warm, and this actually goes better with my gray hair. This thing's really getting dry. I'm gonna have to open up my new one. But you see, it kind of covers that gray, and just, I think it looks better. So I have been using this and really liking it. Get it on there. Oops, messed up a little bit, but I'll live. Yeah, it's dry and it's clumpy. It's time to retire it, open up the big one. I certainly do get the most out of my samples. I probably use them way beyond what they were designed for. Whoops. See, I make a mess with my makeup. My hands shake. I think a lot of us have this, but I think most of my hand shaking is my fibromyalgia. You know, it's funny, I was just in the pain management doctor's office the other day. They now list fibromyalgia as a type of arthritis, and I thought that was interesting because that's kind of how I have always thought of it. I just thought it was interesting. I like my brows like this because I actually have quite a bit of brow. A lot of people have lost all their brow hair by now, but I haven't. I am gonna tight line. I apologize, I forgot to put out the pencil. Honestly, the only pencil I have that I like tight lining with is my Joah Make Her Gelous. This is the best pencil. It doesn't transfer. I was using my Urban Decay and I thought they were going to be great, but they transfer so badly. I'm just not having it. Okay, this is always a little tricky for me, so feel free to make fun of the faces I make, okay? I just haven't learned to do this without closing my eyes yet. It freaks me out. Closing my eyes makes it possible. But the tight lining really helps when you're doing a really light look like this. It makes a huge difference. It really gives it some depth. Yeah. I think that's much better. I think it's kind of an important thing to do when I'm doing a really light eye look. I noticed I did almost this identical look on Mother's Day. And when I look back at the pictures, it actually looks like I have no eye makeup on. I didn't tight line, and the mascara is great, but it doesn't pop anymore. I'm too old, I guess. Now, I am using and liking a lot the Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer. Oh my goodness. So cheap, so fabulous. This has given the L'Oreal Voluminous a run for its money, I will tell you that. I had heard many wondrous things about this lash primer, and it's so inexpensive. And I thought, well, you know, if that many people are raving about it, there must be something to it. Oh my goodness. There is so much to it. Can you see that? How beautiful that is? I mean, it's a little hard to see because it's white, but wow. It really gives them some oomph. This side just doesn't do what I want it to. But we're getting there. Hey guys, I had to let the camera cool down a little bit. So what do you think? These are some pretty killer eyelashes. I would even say I dig the Nars Climax mascara. You know, that's high praise from me when I dig something. I hope you can see them. Another thing I've been doing lately is using a clear brow gel because my lashes really like to go places, and Gimme Brow is okay, but it's not, I don't like it as well as this Brow Food Clear Brow Enhancing Gelfix. I like it. It's been working for me. It's great. I will use the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil for a lip liner today. I need some lip balm. With such a light look on my face, I think I'll do that bold lip. I have to pick a lipstick. I'm really digging this one by MAC. I think think it's gorgeous. It is called Crosswires. I'm also really very fond of this Loreal, which is called Sparkling Rose. And it's also very pretty, much more muted than the other. As you can see, I think that's a really beautiful color though. Let me show you this Crosswires. It's got a lot more punch to it, and it doesn't have as much shine. I think with this shirt that I am wearing and my pink earrings, I'm a little over pink today. I'm gonna go with the Sparkling Rose because I think the muted color will look better. So pretty. And I'll tell you, you know, for lipsticks, yes, I have my favorites, my Bite Beauty. I love my Bite Beauty, but I'll tell you, L'Oreal makes a darn good lipstick. I mean, I think it's really pretty. I want you to see these eyelashes. I hope you can. I'm a little fixated on them, kind of obsessed. So what do you think? I like the look. I think it's really pretty, and I'm gonna look just fabulous going to my doctor's appointment today. I think that's about it. So I will keep you posted as I go on through this, I'll call it a metamorphosis. I'm thinking of myself as kind of being in the cocoon and forming and figuring out what works best for me. I'm already feeling so much happier in my life, and that's just such a huge thing for me. I hope it lasts. I know there will be periods of depression because I can't cure my depression, but I'm hoping that I can bounce back a lot faster. That's what I'm experiencing right now, and it's heavenly. It's never happened before. I'm having a little trouble believing it. I have to stop talking because I could talk all day. I like hanging out with you guys. I know you can't see me, but I love the comments. The back and forth we have in the comments is so wonderful, and it's so good for me. It just makes my spirit soar, and I interact a lot with some of you guys on Instagram, and I'm just really enjoying life right now, and I'm enjoying my social media family. Some of you I talk to on my Facebook page, which is Julie's Beautiful Life, if anyone needs to look for it. And my Instagram is also Julie's Beautiful Life, although it's spelled with a Y at the end of beauty instead of an I. It's just a little change there. The other one was already taken. Y'all go out and live it up. Enjoy it. You only get to go around once. Go out and enjoy your beautiful life.